Hey guys, it is me, Pat, back in our latest in our series of creating a light plot with Vectorworks, and in this video I'm going to show you how to insert lighting units into your plot, and specifically front of house lighting units. So let's get going here. Okay, so in the last videos we've laid out our positions, we've laid out our focus points. Now it's time to start dropping in units, and pretty much in this plot, I know already we've spoken about lighting schemes and lighting schematics, and pretty much my lighting schematic is going to be again, this is a simple plot. We'll have a front warm, a front cool, a top light. We'll have some high side light, and then a couple specials and our psych units. So again, in this video, I will be showing you how to lay out the front lights on the front of house number one. And a lot of times what I'll be referring to as, you'll hear me use the word systems quite a bit. And in this case, we're going to start out and I'm going to lay in the front light warm system. Okay, so all of the front light warm systems on the front of house position, we're going to start dropping in right now. And if you remember from class, the McCandless method, again, it's a good starting point. Everything is 45 degrees out and 45 degrees up. Now, a lot of times you can't do anything about the 45 degrees up because you have the front of house position is where it is. But many times you can do something with the 45 degrees out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over and we're going to drop in our first lighting unit for area A. And we're going to come over here to the resource browser, and we're going to scroll down and we'll see some folders, and we're going to see a lighting symbol 575 over, 575 under, 750 over. The first number is the wattage, and the second is if it's overhung or underhung. 90% of the time you will be using symbols from the 575 underhung, so that's where we're going to go. And your first lighting unit that you put in, essentially you're taking a guess, okay? So I'm going to say let's try a 50 degree source 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over and we're going to right click on the unit, make active. Now I'm going to come over here and select Instrument Insertion tool. And now we're going to come down over here, and again, we want to kind of get it close to 45 degrees. All right, about here, let's say that's about 45 degrees. We click once on the lighting unit, on the position, and then you see now we can kind of put it in some angle. So I'm just going to kind of fake it and put it right about there and click again. So now we have our first lighting unit in, and it is a 50 degree. So, but the next thing we have to do is we have to insert all of the channel and dimmer information. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that our lighting unit is selected, and we want to come up here to Spotlight and Label Legend and Assign Legend to Instruments. You click on that and you're going to see you're going to see 4: General Legend, Mover Legend, Scroller Legend, and Top Hat Legend. In this case, we're going to be using the General Fixture Legend. So we click on it, select OK, and as we see down here, here's our lighting unit with all the information attached to it, or at least the containers for it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out again, and we're going to come over to the Object Info palette, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the focus, where it is focused to. And on my Object Info palette, the focus, this information is a little further up in the palette. Yours is probably going to be further down here, down here in the lower part. But mine is up here. So I'm going to type in A, and I'm going to click someplace. And now what I can do is right here you see Draw Beam, and I'm going to select that. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me a representation of what the beam of light's going to look like. Now remember when we gave this front of house position a Z height or a height in the air of, I believe it's 24 feet. So the computer, the program is taking all this information into account and showing you a representation of what the beam would look like. Now, I would say, if it were me, I would say this is probably a little too large for a lighting fixture for front of house. It spills out just a little too far. So we're going to try and we're going to try a different lighting unit. So now what I'm going to do is now we don't have to redraw everything. It's kind of neat. All we have to do is, let's try the 19 degree, see what happens. All we have to do is right click on it, make active, and then we scroll down in the object info palette all the way down until we get to replace with active symbol. And look at that. It immediately puts in the new 19 degree and it redraws the beam angle. Now that probably looks a little small, I would say. So now we're somewhere between the 26 and 36 degree. I'm going to try the 26 degree. So we're going to right click, make active, replace with active symbol. Now this looks like it's going to be pretty nice. I'm thinking, we can always come back and change it later, but I'm thinking for now we're going to stick with this. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so we can see this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this lighting symbol and I'm going to drag it. I'm going to shift, control, drag we drag it exactly sideways, and I'm going to move it to right about here. I'm going to let go, and you see how it snaps back on A, because it's still, this fixture, I copied it and it still thinks that it's going to go on to area A, but in reality we want it to go to area B. So we're going to click B, enter, and voila, there it goes, area B. So now you see how these beams of light are overlapping. That's what we want, to create a nice smooth wash of light across the stage. So it's looking good so far, and we're going to do this again. We're going to do this for area C. That looks good right about there. I have to change him back to C. Scroll over just a little bit. Come over to D. And I'm going to move him over just a little bit. In fact, I'm going to move him over. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to move him just a little bit over, and I'm going to move area C over just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. And the last fixture I'm going to put in place is area E. Now all we can do goes to the end of the pipe, because we'd be hanging off in the middle of air. We don't want that. So now we have all of our front warm lights in, and what I'm going to do is now we can start inputting just a little bit of information into these lights. So I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to hold down the shift key, select them. Now we have all of our, yes, I want to back up, thank you. We have all of our 5 front of house warms selected, and the color that I'm selecting for these guys is Roscolux 04. So now what I can do is I can come up here where our color is, and I'm going to go Rosco 04, hit enter, and look at that. It puts all of our colors in. So now I have to come along and I have to do the front of house cool system. And we could kind of do the same thing that we did for the warm, but I'm going to show you a trick, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to get us, okay, here we go. So it looks like it could be just possibly a little messy in here, but I'm going to leave this for now, because again, you can see how well everything is lit and how well everything is covered. So what we're going to do is we're going to mirror it. Remember the mirror command? We used it quite a bit. We're going to give it a try here and see what happens. So we have all these guys centered. I'm going to come over here, select the mirror. We're going to mirror on the center point. And when I click on the end point, they're going to all mirror around. Now you see what happens here. It kind of looks like a mess, okay? Because right now, this fixture right here, if we select this guy down on the end, is shooting down to area E, when in reality we want him to shoot to area A. So we have to come back and we need to change these guys here. So A, B, C is in place already. D, and E. Oh, sorry about that. And E. Now you notice we have sort of a problem here. We have two fixtures piled up right on top of each other, and we really can't. That's really not going to work. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to we have to move them a little bit. So it's going to blow our 45s just a bit, but I'm just going to kind of grab this guy and pull him this way. I'm going to grab this guy, pull him this way just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing here. Move this guy over, move this guy over, and now I'm going to zoom out. And now all of our fixtures, again, if I select everything, I'm going to show you a trick here, a selection. So I could come through and select all of these fixtures, okay? But there's a quicker way to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to Spotlight, and let's see, Find and Modify. Click on that, and what I want to do is I want to find all. Let's see, I want to find all lights whose position equals front of house number 1. And I'm going to click, now I come down here, and what I want to do is I want to just select them. I'm going to click OK, and look at that. There it's selected all of the fixtures. That's pretty neat. Okay, so right now, again, you see that it's all these lines, but you can tell that I can tell that all of these front areas are covered really well now. There should be no dark spots. There should be no real shadows, and we should be in business. So what I'm going to do now is everything is selected. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to draw a beam, and I'm going to turn all the beams off. So now we just have our fixtures there, and now we have the front areas lit. Now I'm going to finish up the front of house warms and cools as I'm going to lay in F, G, and H. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to just copy this guy over right here, and I'm going to call him, he's going to be into area F. Okay, G, I'm going to call this guy over here, and I'm going to call him area G right there. And then H, now again we're starting to get a little crowded. H is going to probably want to go somewhere in here. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of grab these guys right here, and I'm going to scooch them over just a little bit. I'm going to select them, okay, and drag them over just a little bit. Now that's going to give me just enough room to get H in there. Come up here, select H. Now I can do the same thing as I can zoom in just a little bit, and I can select, let's see, this is F, I believe this is G, and this is H. So F, G, and H. Now I'm going to flip-flop those guys over onto the other side here. Use our mirror tool. And again, it sets them all right. So what I'm going to do is I can come over here and slide this guy over. And now everything looks just about right. Now the one thing I have to change is let's see, what color do we want to make are we going to make our blue lights? And those are going to be Roscoe 65. So all of these guys from these are our warms, so I need to change our cool. So I'm going to select everything that is going to be from this side. And again, we can come up here to color, change Roscoe 04 to Roscoe 65, and here are colors, and we've just dropped them in. Now that we have differentiated by colors, I can come up to Spotlight, Find and Modify. I want to select all lights whose color equals either R4 or R65, and I want to select them. And I click that, and there all of our fixtures that are R65 are selected. So the select and modify, or the find and modify, is a really powerful tool when you're making your light plot. I think that's going to be it for this video. That's just about enough, so it's not too terribly long. So in this video, what we've done is we've learned how to lay in our front of house warm system and our front of house cool system. You've learned how to focus the lights, check the photometrics, check the beam. You've learned how to change the colors, and you've learned how to select. So why don't you go ahead and kind of start playing around with your plot and see if you can do the same thing.